Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, share the video for my cousin. Now, I was gonna keep watching a radical video, and I probably still will, but they dropped this today on Jubilee, and I've already seen what they talking about. This is this is middle ground. It says I only date white men. Basically, it's black men versus black women. I just want to see what they rambling about, bro.
So many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like, I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And I have to, majority.
To the majority, that's probably not true.
Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let me tell you.
I prefer to date outside my race. Step forward if you agree with the prompt.
Realistically, I would definitely want to marry a black man. I know that we've experienced a lot of trauma in our community, and I think that trauma stems back from our colonizers, which have put us against each other.
I feel like as a mix, well, I don't know what race the light-skinned woman is sitting across from this woman is, but I feel like as a mixed, you know, if she's mixed, black and white, I don't think that's dating outside of your race. I feel like the world sees things a totally different way. Like, I get it. You see mixed or biracial women as black, depending on how they look, but they're half and half. You can't just exclude the white out of them because they look a certain way. People do.
It makes it difficult for us to come together and.
But I'm making that up. She could be full
in a relationship, if that makes sense.
For me personally, growing up mixed, just because I did grow up.
You're not. I don't personally believe this is dating outside of your race. You can identify as something, but then you're crossing the lines into like delusion, you know? Because if you're, let me see what mix she's with.
More so with my mom on the white side of my family.
Yeah, she's mixed black and white. You're not, this is not dating outside of your race. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, unless you're going as a whole, like, unless you're going with the whole thing of biracial or mixed is like their own race. But just because she looks the way she looks doesn't mean she's not half white, which she is. You know what I mean? She's half white. She's not dating outside of her race. Well, actually, hold on. I'm damn near being on some delusional shit. Maybe she just doesn't date black or white people. I was assuming things.
Just when it came to dating experiences with black men, if anything, they would always tell me, oh, you're really white, or just really racial comments about how I'm mixed that makes me uncomfortable. Like, at the end of the day, I'm black. Right. I understand that I grew up predominantly on the white side of my family, but people don't see me on the street and think that's a white woman. Like,
right. They're gonna look at you as a black woman.
Yeah, I'm a black woman.
And you're gonna go through the experiences that a black woman go through.
Yes, versus always bringing up that I have a white mama or I act a certain way because I grew up white. It's just, I'm me.
If she ever brings up in this video that she also prefers to date white people, because I'm making shit up, maybe she doesn't, okay? But if she ever brings up that she doesn't, like, if she makes it clear that she's talking about not dating black men and dating white people, which is what I assumed and put onto her, she has no business being in this video. It's truth.
I grew up how I grew up. And so if I am gonna be in a relationship with a black man, I would like him to just not bring that up. But in my experience, that's been a constant conversation.
She's very shaky.
Can the disagreeer step forward now?
My mom, she was adopted by a white family, man. She's also half white.
Okay.
And my parents were divorced after a while, and so I spent a lot of time with her, and we did things that were white, like I was in Boy Scouts, and we camped, and we did all these different things that just weren't quote unquote black. I was reminded that I talked like a white boy all the time. And you know, those sort of things, they can add strain. Is that me saying I wouldn't date a black girl? Of course not. Like, you know, of course I try to. I date anybody, but I just think in practice, you know, for whatever reason, circumstantially, it doesn't always happen all the time.
I grew up in a very white area.
They're disagreeing with her life circumstances, what's happened to her. That's interesting.
Well, but I found that when I started dating, even though it was only white girls surrounding me, they didn't understand my identity. So I was just gonna ask, like, did you, or have you found that even though you were in those white situations, did you feel understood by the white women you were dating, or misunderstood?
Define understood, I guess. I don't.
Are there things that you would express, maybe like politically or identity-wise, that they might be like, I don't really understand that?
I think it's hard for other races to completely understand what it's like being black and that experience. That's not to say that they can't be empathetic and sympathetic and understand and listen to you and learn things. But fundamentally, I just think a black woman is gonna have a different perspective.
So I'm from St. Louis. I'm not from California. I'm not from LA. So I'm from a predominantly black area. And so growing up, there was only one white person in my class. And so I've only been exposed to our community. And to both of you all's points, my mom is black, my dad is black, my family is predominantly black. So I've been around the black man my entire life. I have so much respect for the black man to where hearing a prompt say, I prefer to date outside my race, it kind of makes me think now.
Black women hate that shit.
Because
they hate it.
Never been exposed truly to the opposite end in such a depth way to where I can look at another man from a different race and say, I wouldn't want to date you over a black man when I have had solely my experiences with them, good and
respect her
bad.
explaining it like this.
Whether I had that bad experience, it doesn't make me say, okay, I don't think I want to date black men anymore. I want to go and date a white man. They're going to treat me better. I feel like as a man, you all should be treated as a species in itself. And you all have very intense ways of thinking, and
I
feel
can go both ways.
Yeah, so, true. So I don't think that it has too much to do with race in itself. We have to take a deeper dive into men.
Do you think sometimes that women or black women, since we're talking to black women, can sort of superimpose what they believe a black man should be?
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete
Sure. I have to say sure, but I think it honestly just depends. I think this will totally get off topic if you really want me to dive deeper into it. Truthfully, because I know that as a black woman, you can see there's black men who are excelling. There's black men who treat their women right. There's black men who honor and respect black women. And then you have black men who, although you all didn't step forward, would say, I don't want a black woman. I watched my mom struggle. I don't like black hair. I don't like black women's attitude. I don't like how they speak. I don't like how they don't respect men. I don't like the fact that they are not subservient enough for me. Yeah. So I do believe that we're on the totem pole. We want.
Is that a problem?
Which one?
The black man that doesn't like any of the things that you just mentioned.
It's not a problem. I think it's a preference thing. I think that we've been dating the wrong people. You see that this woman is very loud and strong-willed. You know that you don't like that. Don't date her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because I come from a similar background with you two. I grew up in Memphis, but I'm from Chicago. And most women down there, you know, and most women in the South generally are masculine.
Really?
A little
Masculine
too rough on the guy, you know.
In the
In the South?
Can you
like,
explain like just masculine?
Masculine.
Like I just want to know like specifically kind of what you mean.
Like instead of saying like nice hi, they're like what's up? What's up my guy?
Okay. Okay.
It just seems a little
That
more.
is ma-
It makes sense because
that is
a little more
not
dangerous. So
femininity.
it's like their defense, you know, based on the prompt. Like I disagreed because I don't date based off race. I date based off who I attract, and I generally attract women outside of black women because of my characteristics, the way I live.
I prefer black women.
It's interesting. Feel like I'm the same way. Although I generally attract more black women. I mean, that's not necessarily true. I get looked at more from races outside of my own, right? But I've only been with black women. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know.
I attract a lot of black women, but I'm open to dating all types of women. I have even in the past. But when I do date black women, I definitely date a specific type of black women, not the representation that we have on the East Coast. That
Oh, he doesn't have
that by any chance.
left hand.
I find
That
it.
was in New York.
Or right
Yeah,
hand.
is it in New York?
I think so. In
Yeah.
Times Square of the
Yeah.
black lady.
I don't date. I mean, everyone knows that black woman. I find it that they can be very. It's almost like they try to be the man in the relationship, and there can only be one man in the relationship. And you know, when it comes to relationships, the man is always going to take the path of least resistance. And so, yeah, I usually date black women, but it wouldn't be that particular kind.
When you say that particular kind,
She hated
because that
that.
was just a statue, can you go
Well,
in-
but it's a representation, right? It's a
But
even.
it was just like we have an image here,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the image, and you look at it. You don't know this woman. You've never had a conversation with this woman. You don't
See,
know
I would
who
say that I
she
do
is.
know that woman.
From the looks of her.
Yeah, I would say
could
that I
tell
know
that
So
exactly.
are
she
we
who that
saying
probably doesn't
because
take
let's
care
go
of
into it?
herself.
Are we saying because she's a
Health-wise.
dark-skinned, heavy-set black woman? Is that what you guys getting at? Because that's we only have a visualization of who
Yeah,
she
that's
is.
the representation.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't date that particular kind of woman. And,
Gotcha.
Stereotypes
and then when you
come into
start
play.
talking about weight and stuff in the black community, it can
Yeah.
be really sensitive for the women, but that does play into attraction.
That needs to be a conversation that we need to have, though.
We always have it, and they don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
Like Lizzo. Body positivity.
Right.
I mean, she's
Try telling a black
What's
woman.
happening?
Accountability is what I noticed.
Yes, I agree.
I've lost. I'm
Major
lost in the
accountability.
conversation.
You said you date people that you attract. I think that's really important that he said that. Because at the end of the day, like we can talk about who our preferences are, whatever. You can only date who wants to date you at the end of the day. Which is why I asked the question about superimposing what you think a black man should be onto a black person. I feel like a lot of the qualities I bring to the table, other races seem to appreciate and value a little bit more.
What qualities
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah, what quality?
I don't want to. This is
What
not part of the
qualities
video,
are
but
they?
I just have to say it. I've been thinking about this entire time. This woman is absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, so I've heard a bunch of times growing up, like, oh, like I want like a thug, for instance, and I understand like that's
That's major in the South.
stereotypical.
That's major in
It is major, even in California now.
That's
I mean,
major,
like
yeah, here
it's
it is.
it's like I guess I kind of understand what some of the appeal of that might be, I suppose. But at the same time, like if we're trying to like build a healthy community, why are we prioritizing that?
That bores
For
a lot.
some
Of,
people.
that bores a lot of women in the black community.
But that's my
When
point.
you start
like,
talking
yeah.
about positive things and stuff like that, they want somebody that's going to be destructive generally.
I disagree.
I don't disagree at all.
I
I've seen so many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. So much so
You
to the
gotta
point
have
to
a
where-
gun.
Yeah, they like the emotional highs and lows is like sex in and of itself to her. I've seen women like this where I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are
So-
thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And
Majority.
I have to majority.
Majority.
Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let
my
me
bad,
let
my
me.
bad.
Let me tell you, it is not thugs. There is no line that says I am a thug. There are white men, black men, Puerto Rican men. I'm sorry, Hispanic, and in general, there's no percentage that says only thugs are giving the most STDs out. I'll tell you one thing: black women, heterosexual black women, are the most high at risk for HIV right now, and it's not just from black men. It's from all men. That's why I want us to really dive deep into that. And then you're speaking of a community saying they only want thugs. I think education plays
Mostly.
a major role in that, because if you're an educated woman, I'm an educated black woman from the trenches. Have you all heard that term? The
we
trenches.
wouldn't be talking.
I hate when people argue like that. I swear I hate when people argue like that. When people start bringing up or start getting like disrespectful because they got offended. And like then it's like you don't want to hop in the start the argument that like she's being stereotypical right now. And I'm not even saying just as a black woman, she being like, you know, just a woman in general. Like they don't want to hop into that argument because it's like, bro, why are you What are you getting aggro and disrespectful for? Because that to me would have been disrespect. I would have been like, okay, I see exactly how you feel right now. Just off the, have you heard of that term? Because that you're insinuating, if that's the right word, that I'm stupid in a way, or that I'm acting dumb, or that I'm from somewhere where I wouldn't learn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're being disrespectful now. Why? There's no need. He didn't mean to be disrespectful to you. He wasn't trying. She was purposely trying to be disrespectful to them.
You then.
I-
You
no, no, no,
wouldn't
no.
be the archetype.
No,
but
of
there is a
course.
large majority of black women.
Like,
that
where are
want-
the studies
Yes.
coming from?
Where are the studies coming
Yeah.
from? The numbers. The CDC. Who?
Like specific
Local-
city, state?
Nationally.
Okay.
Nationally.
Can I just say something? I think we also need to look at what you said earlier, our environment. Why are we being quote unquote hostile? Why do we have these masculine features? It's because we're put into these situations where we have to be a certain way or evoke certain characteristics. And although like certain things are portrayed online heavily, you know, like, oh, black women want to be like sexy red, black women want to be sexualized. So kind of something that we should all look at is taking assumptions out of the window, because there are a lot of assumptions being brought up. So like, who are you talking to right now? You're not talking to a heavy representation. Obviously, you're speaking with people who are heavily educated right now. So kind of consider that and notice that, you know, you're not always going to find a black woman that is ghetto. You could also find a very smart black woman. You know, you're not always going to find.
Just because a black woman is ghetto does not mean she's not intelligent or smart.
Smart white girl. You could find a very ghetto white girl. And stereotypes are very important in conversations like this because we need to throw them out the window.
Black men are intimidated by successful black women. By successful black
Wait,
women.
black men are intimidated by certain black women. Before they get into this, I just want to I want to speak on this. I believe this is true in a lot of ways, but true for a specific reason. I think it's less intimidation and more leading to an attraction because of how successful black women act. I don't think it's intimidation at all. I mean, for some people it might be. I think in my personal opinion, even though it actually doesn't, it doesn't faze me at all, to be honest. But in my personal opinion, and from my outside view looking at it, and if there has ever been a woman like that, it's not necessarily like I really would not. I'm prideful, but I'm not stupid. Like, I would generally not care if my woman was 10 times more successful than me. I genuinely wouldn't. But if that comes with like hardcore masculinity, it's very, very different. But I'm interested in what they have to say, though.
It's good that you're being real with yourself, though. That's important.
Wait. Okay. I will say, like, sometimes. I'm not going to say all black men are. But I know I've heard from plenty of my friends and plenty of older women that I know who are kind of successful.
Interesting.
And they're like, yeah, it's really hard to date because men will be like, oh, you make more money than me or something.
You guys like to say that we shouldn't compare, as women, we shouldn't compare ourselves to men because we'll never be the same as you guys. But you guys do that with us. Compare yourselves to us. Like, I don't make as much as her, or I don't have all the degrees that she has.
I don't know if it's the same kind of comparison we're talking about, right? So I think a lot of the time when people are saying women shouldn't compare themselves to men, is women shouldn't try to be men versus men comparing themselves to women. It's more like, am I fulfilling that traditional masculine role that's kind of expected? Now, we can have the conversation as to whether or not that's still apt for our time or not, whether that's still relevant. I would say it is, just because it seems like people seem to appreciate, at least from my perspective, women seem to appreciate men who make more than them still.
Intimidation is a form of insecurity. So that stems from lack of communication.
Well, I don't think it's intimidation most of the time. I mean, I could be wrong based on my own views, but I don't think it's intimidation. I think it's it's being seen as intimidation because they're not getting picked as much, but it's really just like, you know how people say they get an ick. It's like a man getting an ick because it's like if that boss woman comes with a whole bunch of masculinity to her, or like seeming like she's, or maybe even like holding it over his head, or like it just comes with a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like you know what I'm saying? I guarantee, man, like if a man, like, cause like, let's be real, you never see, well, that's not true, but like, let's be real, it'll be a lot different for like I guarantee you, any black man out there, straight black man, would not care if they married into like a feminine, like, and they were attracted to her, a feminine, like, princess type rich white girl. Now, she doesn't make more than him, but she has more money than him. She's not insecure off, I guarantee the black man wouldn't be insecure off that. He'd be fine. The woman's a princess, the woman's feminine, you know what I'm saying? La, 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 la. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the way, I think it's the actions in how the success, I'm not gonna say all, some of the successful black women move. That's not, well, I don't really want to say intimidating because I feel like that's the wrong word, but I feel like it's less attractive.
And not dating someone on your level, not you specifically, but you know, if the person isn't dating someone on their level, there needs to be that communication, because obviously that person is with you for other reasons.
I don't want to make the broad statement that it's all black men, because it's not. It's specifically black men that for whatever reason in their own life, they're not happy with.
What's really interesting, she actually like doesn't look like a white woman, but she like looks like a white woman. That's so interesting to me. That is so interesting to me. Like, her features are like really white, like, but like she doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying? They're very mixed, but like if she had like pale skin. That's an interesting mix.
Where they are at. They have some sort of insecurity. Maybe it's career
She
insecurity.
had pale skin and blonde,
financial
straight hair.
Insecurity. So if they're with that
She wouldn't even look like a light bright.
Strong black woman, in my experience, instead of being like, oh, like, that's awesome, you have a degree in this, you got this job, you did this. They're like, okay, big mama, you got money? You got money, big mama? I'm like, what the hell? Or like, I've even had experiences where they were,
how many men have said
like,
that
basically
to you?
slut shaming me, talking down to me because I got a better job, or I lost weight and people started noticing that, so now I was a whore. But in my experience, if I've been with a black man who, he is successful, he has a job that he likes, he's pursuing his hobbies, he has X, Y, and Z, comments like that are never made because he's not
supporting you.
Yeah, he's not internalizing your success as his failure.
Yeah.
Met that across all men. They just feel intimidated when you are successful. And in my,
Me personally, if you a bag getter, I love a woman who love money. I love money. But bubbles.
experience too, I do tend
I
to
can
be
see
more
it.
of
I
a
can see that,
dominant
though.
black woman, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's totally okay, but it does scare some men.
That's the ick. That's the masculinity ick. Maybe not so much that you're successful, but maybe it's the dominance part. You know? Why are we not focusing on that?
You feel like you shouldn't lead with, because I used to be the type of person, I would lead with like all my accomplishments or my businesses. I would lead with that, thinking that, oh, he might like me even more because this is what I do, or, you know? So now it's just like, I don't like to share anything when I'm dating. Like, I don't do anything, I just sit at home.
What I've had to learn is, because I used to diminish myself a lot, when at the end of the day,
I'm gonna stop pausing just a second. I was just told by a woman I'm kind of talking to, like, all her accomplishments. She's younger than me, but she got a whole bunch of little things going for herself. I thought that was awesome, because, you know what I'm saying, she like money. I'm like, oh, that shit, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna You know, I'm not gonna say, oh, blah 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 blah. Like, no, you get into a bag, you get into a bag. Like, that's kind of fucking cool. Like, I don't know. I'm not assuming she has more money than me. I guess technically in my subconscious, but still, I'm assuming she making money.
I want something that's real. I want
Yeah.
someone who's gonna love me for me and all that encompasses that. So I'm gonna be unapologetically 100% me. I'm loud, I talk my shit, I
Respect
speak
that.
my mind, and if you don't like
Should
that,
be yourself.
then you're not for me.
But I think that this specific prompt goes back to the original prompt. Men who prefer to date women outside of their race, I believe that it's not really a race thing, it's a class thing. And I honestly believe that if I'm a black woman and you already view me as a stereotypical black woman, loud, disrespectful, I don't respect black men, if you view me as that way, on top of me being successful. See, I don't have to be more successful than you. Sometimes men, specifically black men, believe that you don't need to have so much confidence in yourself. I feel like you are competing with me.
Yes.
My success does not revolve around your success. We should want to be successful together, which leads back to that specific detail about creating a healthy relationship, a healthy black successful relationship. And I believe that black men view women who are very confident. I'm very confident in myself. I don't disrespect you. I respect you so much, but I respect myself more. And I think that men have a hard time toting that line of keeping my masculinity and upraising your femininity.
I think there's definitely some validity in that. I think however people decide to arrange like their marriage and their relationships, I think it's totally up to them. Like whatever roles you choose, that's up to you. If that works, if it's healthy, you should do that. I wanted to unpack the on your level thing that you said. So what does that mean, on your level?
Whether that's financially, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, anything, or all of the above. Someone who you feel you resonate well with, no insecurities. You know, I feel like, I don't know, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess for the purpose of this conversation, I want y'all's opinions on this. Do you think black women generally would date or marry a man who wasn't financially or had no prospects of being financially, socioeconomically on their level?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
See it every day.
Literally.
Every single day.
I wonder why the perception isn't that then. Like I wonder where that comes from.
It comes from the relationships not working, I believe. You know what I'm saying? I do believe women in general and black women, you know what I'm saying, will date a man who makes less money than them. I personally don't believe those relationships actually last. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they get fed up with it quicker, obviously, than a man would get fed up with their woman not making as much as them. But the woman gets fed up with it more because it's like the man should be doing more. In their head, subconsciously, I believe they start thinking that.
Well, like the majority, and I'm sure maybe someone will agree with me when they walk over here, because necessarily you're not going, I mean, black women are most educated right now. Like necessarily you are not going to probably find a black man who is on your level. Like it's just, the numbers are not there. So a lot of black men might feel like, okay, you might just be settling because we're here now, but would you be dating me if it weren't somebody else?
You know, I think that's actually really interesting that you mentioned that because it's something that is socially imposed, and I think a lot of men, not just black men, but men in general, seek social validation from their peers. And so when other men look at each other, they're like, okay, well, what are you doing for work? Are you making more money than me? You know, obviously they're more competitive with each other, and then obviously that brings competitiveness within the relationship, which is something that shouldn't be the case, but it is in a lot of situations.
The only reason I disagreed with the prompt is just because I agree with everything you guys are saying, but personally, because my mum, who's black, she was always very successful, so I've never felt intimidated by success. But I agree with what you were saying, that I think that in my experience, if you aren't perceived to be on the financial level of a woman, then she'll just look past you straight away. I'm a musician, so we know that we're not going to be financially successful until
There's definitely a lot of bubbles, you know? Because you go to Miami right now. I could go to Miami right now. I got no Rolex. I'm getting looked past. You know what I'm saying? I got no Cuban on. Getting looked past. Saying I could go to somewhere else and it might not be exactly like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Oakland right now. Go to the gym and pick up a woman.
it's
It's bubbles.
so I'm always more like see my potential. But I think there are a lot of people who don't acknowledge potential. They're just
Yeah.
like, you need money now,
Yeah, that's
and
me.
that's all I'm going for.
That's me. I don't see potential.
That's very interesting. She just admitted to that. Because not seeing potential is it's scandalous almost in a way. What do you mean you don't see potential? So if you have a son and he's slacking off in high school, you don't see his potential to be something better than what he's doing then. That's interesting. I mean, obviously we're talking about relationships and this isn't that, but at the end of the day, if you have a son, that's a man as well. You know, I'll be like, that's interesting. She just said that. I actually really hate that she just said that. Because everyone who she looks at now who is successful wasn't always successful and had the potential and then got there. Very interesting she just said that.
I'm 26.
Appreciate
I'm
the honesty.
There's so much potential that honestly, when I first see you and you are not economically secure, I'm not looking at you. I don't have intention
Well, there you go.
on being
That's
the
2
breadwinner.
out of 4.
But that being a breadwinner and being successful are two different things to me.
Can we have the disagree a step forward?
I disagree.
We'd love to hear
Welcome.
from the
So I
disagreeers
strongly
first.
disagree. No man is intimidated by any woman because of her credentials. That's not the case. It's usually the character and traits that come with that.
What did I say? That's exactly what it is. It's not men aren't stupid. They would not care if the woman was a princess and was la di la 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 di la di la di da and she made billions of dollars. The man would not care. She was 10 out of 10 feminine. La 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 la. But not stupid, but la di la la. The man wouldn't care. Make $1 billion, man works at McDonald's, would not care. I promise you.
They usually have extremely high egos, and you can't tell them anything. And they usually come off extremely masculine. Like what you said you can be masculine, and it might be too much
Said
for
this.
men. It's an attraction thing. Men are not attracted to masculine traits in women. That's what it is.
I don't think that's necessarily true because
She can't say that. Well, let me just hear what she has to say. Let me stop acting like I'm in there.
who, for example, I've known men who were intimidated and jealous because
I do believe some men probably do get intimidated and jealous, but I feel like that's a mental thing, and I feel like I guarantee it's almost not most men. It's something with there's that type of man who's like, and I don't even want to call them more feminine, but I don't know.
had a college degree and they did not.
Everybody
it's not
exists.
just the trait that came with that. It was I have a diploma. They did not. It's not just my quote unquote masculine
Right.
traits that was a turnoff.
I would say that might be unique to him, but generally, it's the
Damn,
traits.
we're
that
on-
come with it.
we're on the
It's
same
not
wavelength
degree,
right now.
It's the traits. This idea of dating down and dating on your level stems from women. When men have money, they don't view it as dating down when they're with their women.
Facts.
You guys say that, not men. If a man has money and he's taking care
Facts.
of a woman, there's no point that he thinks he's dating down. He's just taking care of his woman.
I think it's
Facts.
dangerous for a woman to date down because we see it all the time. Men,
She just
You
said
guys
it.
all said that you would, though. You guys all said that you would date someone that made less than you.
That was very interesting because they did all say that, and then 2 of them took it back on some like I just looked past. Like, you know what I'm saying?
said
No.
that you did.
I didn't
I never-
respond
I-
because
we
I
agree
thought
that
Okay,
there
maybe they
was-
didn't know.
I never.
I thought they said, then they all
never-
switched.
Sworn one of
We
you.
didn't
I thought
see
it was
potential.
y'all
said
No,
that.
we didn't see potential. I don't see
Yeah.
potential.
Potential's
I
not guaranteed.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate
Can we fact check that?
economic.
What are we at right now? 21:51.
Oh, wait. Okay.
me and all that encompasses that. All men, they just feel intimidated.
No insecurities. I feel like
I might not be able to find
did
it.
that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess for the purpose of this conversation, want y'all's opinions on this. Do you think black women generally would date or marry a man who wasn't financially or had no prospects of being financially, socioeconomically on their level?
Yeah.
Yes.
1, 2.
Absolutely.
She didn't respond. I respect it.
Literally.
Every single day.
I wonder.
Okay, I respect it. I respect it. She didn't respond. What was it, 21:51? I was really interested to see if she had responded to that. Because I would have gotten a little, feel me? I would have tweaked out a little bit.
Potential. I don't see
Potential, not guaranteed.
It was them two who responded. These two right here.
appreciate economic
They said
security.
yes.
That's all I want. If
Oh, we
you are
know that,
secure as
yeah.
a man,
But what did they
That's
say?
what y'all said.
Let me see.
He's taking care of his woman.
I think it's dangerous for a woman to date down because we see it all the time. Men,
You guys all said that you would, though. You guys all said that you would date someone that made less than you, and then you said that
No.
you didn't.
I didn't
I never-
respond.
We agreed
That's
that
not
they're a
true.
woman.
I never.
Okay. Okay, no, they being legit because they didn't answer.
I thought they said, then they
I
all
never-
switched.
You didn't
I thought
see
they
potential.
said
y'all said.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't see potential. I don't see potential.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I
These two women right here are a little iffy on what they feel.
appreciate economic
But they didn't-
security.
they're not
That's
even-
all I want. If
Oh, we
you are
know that.
secure
Technically,
as
they
a man,
weren't talking about
What if you're
themselves,
in a
though.
field where like you're still studying,
question wasn't
or it's
technically
something
talking
that
about
you know that the
themselves.
payoff isn't immediate.
I wouldn't view that as potential, though. I mean, okay, you can, but honestly, if someone says, I'm going to school for psychology, when you graduate, if you want to become a psychologist, I know that you have to go and get a master's degree. 9 times out of 10, you have to go and get a doctorate degree to become a big breadwinner, okay? I know that eventually you're leaving from that field of study and you are in the works of going and becoming economically secure. See, that's not potential to me. You are a musician, yes? And so you make money.
Yes.
If you take on one extra person and they lose their job, do you think that you'll be able to carry you all's household?
Soon.
Soon. Okay, so myself listening to you, as I stated, if I talk to you as a friend, because that's how dating starts, I'm listening to you, and if you have enough charisma, I'll look at you and I'll say, okay, this is a man who I think will eventually become economically secure for us. See, I want to date someone who is economically secure for himself first. So that's what I'm thinking about
I'll be
potential.
honest, I don't believe any of this.
You don't
I think
believe
it
any
just
of
comes
this?
straight to just superficial stuff.
Superficial.
I mean, we live in a superficial society. Women only want the men with money.
yeah, as they should.
Well, thank you.
But
Let's just cut the BS.
I feel that's
It's
so-
about money.
Yeah, it is.
Very
That
funny.
should be the
Mentally
number
wrong.
one thing when you're dating. That should be the first thing that
Why?
you.
Materialism
one of the
should be
things.
the number one
It's
thing.
not. It's not just.
I think that's very true. I also don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's I don't think most men think it's a bad thing necessarily either. I think it's the fact that women argue that it's not the truth. That is the whole reason people are arguing about it, which basically makes no sense because I think everyone's mostly on the same page. It's just some women are kind of insecure about, but it's not even their fault. I think some women are kind of insecure about hearing that. And so they rebuttal against it when it is mostly the truth. But it's also men's fault for bringing it up in the way they bring it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a gold digger, you only blah, 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 blah. And women, I don't know. It seems like it's coming off of like they're trying to like put them down for something that I think most men don't actually care about. You know what I'm saying? Which is interesting. So it takes two to play a game.
Materialism is that
it is materialism.
as
So
a
many
woman,
assholes with
as
money,
a
though.
woman, we
That's
need
what
to
I'm saying. It's
know.
not just about money, but I
think
do
it
agree
is
it's
just
important.
about money.
It's not.
There's just a lot of
Money
BS.
should be the number one thing one of the top things that a woman should look at when she's dating.
It is the main
Look,
topic.
I believe that as well, though.
should be.
Are you saying one of or the most important?
The most important, yes.
I partially disagree because I think there are kind of like we mentioned earlier, there are preferences.
But I feel like potential should fall into that as well. And yeah.
find someone that is interested in
I
a
could be
certain
saying that because
characteristic that you
I'm
have,
not rich.
perfect, great for you. And so we have these assumptions that, oh, all women are superficial. That is not the case.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Majority.
Yeah, majority.
Okay, well,
Yes,
that is.
I don't think
That's what the numbers
Maybe
I don't
what
care
you
about words, I
encountered.
care about actions. The actions say that women are superficial.
Maybe what you encountered, that may possibly be
I
the
think
case.
there will be a lot of men that will agree
However,
with me.
can you let me finish?
Yes.
Okay. Historically, if we look at the role of a man and we look at the role of a woman, that is what is proposed societally to us. And maybe it comes down to
They're basically arguing back and forth on what they both believe to be. So what they basically everyone here basically sees it the same, but views it differently. That didn't make any sense, but it made sense in my head. But that's how it is. Everyone basically sees, like everyone's seeing the same thing, right? Like it's like if there was a rock in front of you and it had two leaves growing out of it, like one on the right side and one on the left side. Everyone sees that rock with the two leaves growing outside, one on the left and one on the right. But some people view that rock as a pebble. Some people view that rock as a stone. Some people view that rock as a boulder. Some people, like, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how this is. Like, basically this whole thing is pointless because people, they actually all think the same. It's just like this conversation is telling me that they all kind of think the same. They're just viewing it and seeing it differently, even though they're viewing it the same. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
that is a
It makes sense in my head.
very important thing
Yes.
within a relationship, within a community, within a society. Security is important. At the end of the day, you need money to put food on the table. Whether you're by yourself, whether you're in a relationship, whether you
Right.
have kids, right? Is that a concern?
My thing is, if you're dating someone strictly for money, I don't want to hear you getting angry about him sleeping around or him doing whatever.
The
If
men
you
with
married
no
him-
money do the
Cheat.
same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a species topic we're talking about. That's a
Men with
species.
no money
then
have
we
less
say-
options to do that.
And more time.
My point, what I'm saying is
But
like,
do the men with no money really have the option
What is it,
to
man? Man,
sleep around with a lot of women?
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
They
We see
do.
it all the time.
Because it's a lot of women who have less money than the no money.
They
And
do.
if you are a man who has no money,
That's
but
true.
you're with a woman who has money, you have money. Because that's how women are.
That also goes back into validation. With you guys saying that's a bad man if he doesn't have X, Y, Z. Then you also need to look at why does a man need to be emasculated for not being where he wants to be.
And if you're a wealthy man and you want other women, get into a polygamous relationship. You do not have to cheat.
That's valid. You know, you have to get into polygamous relationship. I mean, you can get into a relationship where the woman is fine with, like, if you're wealthy, you can get into a relationship where the woman is definitely just fine with that shit. You don't have to find a woman that's not fine with that shit and do it. That, I agree with that. That is true. There's no real reason to do that.
Kind of like common sense in modern times that men at the top 10% that most women want are generally like that and have options, and they're not going to settle for just one woman.
So why portray as if you want one woman?
Who
I don't think they do.
portray? Who said
I
they
don't think
portray
do.
as they want one
It's
woman?
not a secret.
Most men go to that level just so they can get.
I see it from both sides. What they're saying is it's not vocalized to a lot of the women that they're, like, you know, maybe it is after the fact, but it's not vocalized. Like, you know, if you're going to find someone to date, they're not just going on the first day and being like, look, you're not going to be the, like, they're not just laying it out on the table like that. Even though personally I would. Like, if I had, you know, I just would. Like,
I'm not a woman.
It's a complete double standard, but I think it is the reality that I think men want the idea of this woman is only having sex with me because men.
Territorial.
Yeah,
Dominate.
exactly. Yeah, again, this is a double standard, not excusing this, but, you know, the amount of men who are obsessed with a woman being a virgin, but also wanting them to be this, like, sexual dominatrix as well, complete idiocy. But, yeah, I think, unfortunately, men would rather know that their women are only sleeping with them, but then they are happy to give it out wherever.
I disagree. I think men just want, obviously they want their women to only be sexual with them, not with other men. And I don't think that's stupid or idiotic in any way.
Well, I just think it's a double standard because if we expect ourselves to be able to put it out anywhere, then I think it would be fair.
There's very difference. It's a very big difference. But that just could be because I'm a man. It is a very big difference in my head of having a woman being bopping around. Like, you know, people say this and that, like, but like personally, if I was to get in a relationship with a woman, right, and she wanted to do something or like to be like sexually active with anyone else other than me, I would say it could only be women. People would disagree with me but that doesn't like, for some reason that doesn't do anything for me. Like if I walked in the house and we already had a pre-arranged thing, like we already talked about it, and my woman was having sex with another woman, when I walked in the house, I wouldn't care. Now it would be completely different if it was a man. Like it would do something to my heart and my head, and it would do something, like it would, you know. But
It depends on the person. Depends the kind of guy you're talking about.
There's a reason why
Same
women
about
can
women.
get pregnant by one man every 9 months, but a man can get multiple women pregnant.
Oh,
all
of
at
course,
once.
yeah. Evolution-wise, yeah, we want to throw it everywhere we can, but I think for modern relationships, that doesn't necessarily work.
I just wonder, do most women want to sleep with multiple people the way most men want to sleep with multiple people? I think,
Now
do they want the same thing?
Why do
I
you
would say
feel the need
yes.
to want?
They do it.
I just think that men, a lot of guys intrinsically, when they have more options, they want to exercise them, versus I think a lot of women, a lot of time, when they're committed to one person, would rather just be with that one person.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in months.
Yeah, someone crashed into my car and I couldn't move all my limbs for a while, but I'm all better now. Couldn't be helped.
Are you serious? There's a reason people get sued for that. Just like there's a reason 26 million victim of a
I don't know what that was.
OnlyFans and hookup culture have ruined modern dating.
Facts. Yeah, it's true.
I would say that it has really completely destroyed dating relationships. It's really sad, but it has definitely watered down a lot of things too. I'm seeing that, you know, women are they're waiting to turn 18 and then hopping on OnlyFans, that's really just a reflection of how the culture is.
It's insane. That's insane. And then I'm not even gonna lie, they hyping themselves up on like TikTok and this and that before they're 18 is crazy. That's the most insane thing I've ever seen. It all started with Miss Brogoli. But like, that's insane when you really think about it. Like, they're making semi-sexual videos as minors to hype themselves up so that when they turn 18, they can drop an OnlyFans and make instant bag. Now, me personally, I'm not wifing an OnlyFans girl, this and that. I don't give a fuck if women, you feel me? I think women should exploit their traits to men to make money because they can. Okay? They can. It's just what they can do. But that whole part of it, going from the minor to the thing and doing and hyping yourself up before you're over 8 that's insane. That shit's, and that just happened in the last 5. That's insane. That's just like, it's basically gross. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know where it kind of just became okay. And no one's like, other women aren't really checking women for that. But it's like, that's insane, bro. Like, that's insane. Like, you know, and I want to say it started with Miss Bergoli, but she wasn't necessarily hyping herself up like these kids are nowadays. Like, these kids are nowadays are literally making like soft, like real, like soft sexual content on apps, promoting that they're minors. And then when they turn 18, they instantly make OnlyFans. I'll be like, that's basically gross, bro. Like, you know what I mean? That's basically should be unacceptable. But, you know, that's just crazy.
I think it shows a really bad reflection on how the culture is, and it's really sad in my personal opinion. I think it's disgusting.
My last long-term relationship, which is also why I've been single as long as I have been, he was subscribing to OnlyFans girls. Because porn's one thing. It's like, I see it as, it's a scenario based, it's general. You're not looking up a specific girl versus you're following
Some
a
people
specific
are.
girl while you're in a relationship as well.
Paying for it.
Paying for it.
It is a very big difference though. I'm not gonna lie, I got that what's it called? That virus out of my head. I don't even watch that shit anymore at all. And I haven't for a long time. But it's a big thing with men, and I do see the difference though. It's a very big difference. You know what I'm saying? Just watching something on the internet versus paying for it, and it's a specific girl is insane. Especially, I can definitely see how it's insane to the woman. You know what I'm saying? But it is. It's not cool, bro. Let's be real. Like, it's a difference, bro. I'm
Logging
agreeing
into
with her.
her live cams, like this, it's like, that's a whole thing. And it's not counted as cheating in a lot of men's eyes because you're not physically touching anybody. But you might as well be. It's a fantasy. Unfortunately, one of the first things I do
So is porn.
when I go on a first date, I am gonna look at who you're following. Because on Instagram, it's public. If I see a guy is following all these like big booty Latina, ass, we got a problem, shut it down.
You're not supposed to have this much access to these sexual women in general. In a relationship, it's really hard when you have so much access, easy access to link and meet up with the people who do OnlyFans, who are on Instagram showing ass. And I do want to kind of side with men on this. I don't have a problem with men liking other women's pictures and following women on Instagram solely. I'm in a relationship. Finding that common ground is important, but I just feel like, no, I'm not going to make you unfollow all these women from social media, because you have to be strong whether you see them in person or you see them on the streets.
Do you guys think you could date someone who has, for you guys as well, do you think you could date someone who has OnlyFans and like is successful?
What do they do?
Depends.
I don't know. Okay, let's start off with they just post pictures. They don't have sex with anyone.
What kind of pictures?
Naked pictures.
No.
No.
Feet pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. I could do that. I was just gonna say that, but I didn't want to say that. But I was just gonna say that. I could do feet pictures. Like if they were just doing that, that's fine. I don't give a fuck.
Some foot pictures, whatever, man. Go get it.
Because we're talking about OnlyFans from the subscriber perspective. I always wonder, what if you met someone who you're like, she's really cool, great personality, very attractive, but her job is OnlyFans.
You'd be setting yourself up for failure.
Why do you think so?
Look at her character. You don't think she's gonna not cheat on you?
I don't know.
I don't think
It is a reaction, so I'm reacting to it. That is what they give off. Women hate to hear it, and this and that. I just had a genuine conversation with a woman I follow on Instagram over Twitter, and we didn't get deep into it because I decided the conversation didn't seem like it was gonna go anywhere because of, But I didn't get deep into it. But basically, she implied to me that she didn't think men viewed, or shouldn't and didn't think men viewed her as a hoe, given this woman has no OnlyFans, but she posts very provocative things on her social media. She's always out clubbing, and she posts herself with a lot of different men, but basically she was implying to me that men should not look at her a certain type of way. But like every picture she posts, she got her titties out, cleavage. You see me? Like broadly, like that's basically the only thing you see. And so I think some of this is delusion on how, obviously not every OnlyFans model is gonna cheat on a man. That's just the truth. There's a lot of people in the world. But I think women fail to see that if you're gonna give off an image, if you're gonna give off a certain image of yourself, it's gonna come with assumptions, and women don't like to hear those assumptions, even if those assumptions are very Like, I don't know. I don't know really what I'm trying to say. Like, if those assumptions, like, if you're, like, I don't know. Like, women don't like to hear, or, like, you know, even though I don't believe any of these women do OnlyFans, but they're going to start defending the women who do OnlyFans and say, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. But yet, from a man's perspective, if you're posting pictures like this and making money off this, this, and this, and this, this, and that, basically sex work, you're a certain type of woman, you know? And that certain type of woman is very sexually active, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Subscriber.
I don't
causing
think-
it.
It's a major red flag.
I got you a Rolls Royce.
Major red flag.
Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean, though, if you're an OnlyFans creator, that you would cheat. And it depends. It's all circumstantial, and it's like it depends. If she's sleeping with other people, I'm still talking.
That's what
if
she
she's
gives
sleeping
off.
with other people, I mean, yeah, then she's sleeping with other people on camera. But most of the OnlyFans creators that I've heard about, all their content is by themselves. So I don't think it. Again, I don't think it directly means being an OnlyFans creator would mean you're going to cheat.
It's true.
In the sense of someone who's posting pictures,
what they give off,
she
though.
may not have just had someone in her life to tell her, like, hey, you should want to keep that for yourself.
Would she
and
listen? Would she listen to that?
Will she listen? I mean, I grew up hearing that. I'm not on OnlyFans. And we're speaking about me, but I'm just saying in general, some women who are in the sex culture, who are in pornography, there's the disconnect between self and
I know a
sexuality.
lot of women in that culture.
Do you think?
But what's the difference between not being told that you shouldn't post things like that and you shouldn't maybe give it out to, like, a man maybe telling you shouldn't post things like that, or a man telling you, or whatever type of older figure telling you shouldn't post things like that, or telling you shouldn't go around having sex like that? I feel like that's also a connectivity men make in their head. Like, if they don't think that way, they probably don't think this way. You know what I'm saying? Or if they think this way, they probably think that way. You know? It's something like that.
Feminism played a role in any of this?
I mean, the liberation of, like,
Women.
free choice, do what you want.
Get
You
back
shouldn't
at
face
men.
repercussion. I mean, I wouldn't say get back at men per se, but I think it's.
But that's
something
dangerous to
interesting.
say that's what feminism
not
is
about
about,
men.
and where it stems
Pretty
from.
much is today. It's pretty much they just want to be able to do whatever they want and have no consequences to their actions.
I think that's an umbrella.
Yeah, I feel like you cite a lot of things, too, that don't really have backing as well, and you make a lot of broad statements.
They're true though.
I think feminism maybe played a part in it, but I don't think it's the reason why women are on OnlyFans.
I agree.
Right?
I think it's
I think it plays a big role.
No, it does.
I think money plays a
mean,
lot of
it's-
it too.
independence.
Like, you can't, independence and money. Like, I don't think it's, you know, I think people want money, and that's why I don't personally necessarily like think it's a bad thing. I think they're doing exactly what they should be doing. They just got to know what comes with what they're doing, and they don't like to hear what comes with what they're doing, and they like to rebuttal and say it shouldn't be that way, but it is going to be that way. But I don't think it's a problem. Like, am I personally going to date one? No. But do I think women should not do that? No. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had a point in time OnlyFans came out. I'm like, oh, I want to subscribe to this woman. I'm saying I think the sex market, you know what I'm saying, for men is so big that it's like men talk a lot of shit, but yet if it was gone, I guarantee some people would, you know what I'm saying, unalive themselves. And that's how deep it goes. You know what I mean? Or it would get like very like dangerous in the streets or something, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's any problem with it. I just think women do need to see that if they choose to do that type of work, how they are going to be viewed. And know that that is how they're going to be viewed, and not that, oh, it shouldn't be that way, but it will be that way. You know, it's not fair. Well, sorry, you know.
OnlyFans being the
Yeah, and
easy
it-
way
No,
out.
no, I agree. It's this whole idea that,
10K
like,
a month?
I gotta work soon,
sexual
so I'm like,
revolution,
I might have to do part two, but I think I'll finish
it's
it,
the
though.
fastest way to make money. Basically, prostitution is the
Right.
oldest profession. I think
Yeah, I was just
when-
about to, solely because you brought up prostitution, but before now, women weren't allowed to have bank accounts. If you did not have a husband or a man taking care of you, what were you left with? I don't think that it's because of feminism.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful with how we're speaking about that term, although I know that there's a lot of controversial things about feminism, but I don't believe that OnlyFans is a result of feminism.
Yeah, I wasn't saying as a result. I
Definitely
was saying like
stems
it
from
plays
it,
a
I think.
majority.
Yeah, it
of
definitely
But
stems
if
from a big
prostitution
role.
is the oldest job in the world, then it predates,
It predates feminism.
So I would say, to your point, it is because social media has become such a way to earn money quickly that then prostitution has just evolved.
I would say that's
It's a
all of
logical
that.
conclusion.
I would say
Yeah.
it's a combination of all of that, not just one or the other, but both.
Prostitution, I think before it was still kind of taboo. I don't know if OnlyFans is as taboo as like a traditional prostitute. When COVID started, I think like the amount of girls I knew who were just regular girls, like, oh, join my OnlyFans.
Hard times may leave you on the street.
Teachers.
Survival mode.
Yeah, survive. You know, honestly, it's just honestly, it was very dangerous
Life
to
does
be a
hit.
prostitute during
Life
COVID.
does hit.
And so, all right, we're gonna try to do something that's.
Wait, so to get out of survival mode, shouldn't we be finding ways to get together? So there's two incomes.
I don't think you know what I'm saying? I think survival mode hit. Women should have done what they did, and a lot of women did what they did. I just think a lot of women weren't prepared for how they, once again, I just said this, but a lot of women weren't prepared for how they were going to be looked at. You know what I'm saying? They seen they were in survival mode, so they were like, shit, I need money fast. We're going to do this. Boom, take a turn. I'm in sex work now. But they didn't really know how that's really going to affect how people see them. They weren't. Maybe some people did, but they weren't prepared for life just not being fit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of it is women will be like, well, it shouldn't be like that. But yet it is, you know. It is. You know, women weren't prepared for things to just like be unfair. Like, you know what I'm saying? In terms of views. Like, it's just, you know, that's the way it is. Like,
Not one.
But you just said you wouldn't want to be with a woman that.
So maybe,
Is in survival mode,
maybe like, you know, don't join OnlyFans, but find someone to, you
Lower,
know, like,
lower your standards. Like,
find someone
They're
to
not
get
going
with.
to lower their standards.
like
They shouldn't have to though.
You don't have to. No, you don't.
I mean, I wasn't talking about standards. I was just saying like perception's reality. And then when you see a bunch of people that just kind of see just a girl down the street starting an OnlyFans and it probably doesn't go anywhere, but now like you've made this life decision and now everyone saw that. Just makes you wonder where we are as a society.
Everything now is just oversharing
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this
That's
culture.
social media.
So I think again, it's just like a natural, like, you know, people share every single sexual story. People
Yeah.
share every single like whatever thing. So I think people are like, well, I'll just share my body because that's the same as a story.
But do you guys feel like men play a role in women getting online and showing their
course.
body off?
yes,
Yeah, there's a market
yes,
for it.
100%.
We play a
course.
role in what you do with your bodies?
You buy it.
We should take accountability of the fact that there are lonely men that are
the market is there. So yes, men do in general, yes.
creating a market for this. Like we can't complain about something that exists if there is a market for it. That said though, I don't think we should take accountability for the fact that the men are lonely.
I have felt
I've felt judged by black people more than other race. It's not true for me. Yeah, I mean, growing up, maybe not so much now as a grown adult. Growing up, definitely, but that's I had interesting family situations. So,
judged by black people than any other race.
I can say I felt more judged by black people because I grew up inner city, then I moved from the inner city to the suburbs. And so when I would come around like my black family or black friends from the
75.
inner city, they would be like, oh, you talk white, or oh, you act white, or if I say I want to go swimming today, oh, black people don't go swimming. You know, they would like make comments that would just make me feel like super like, damn, like judged.
I experienced that a lot when I first moved to Memphis from Chicago at 5. Throughout all my life, I was always the different kid. In school, they would say you talk white, and it still continues. Like, people see me, my friends back home in Memphis, they see me surfing and stuff. They see me doing things that you don't usually see black people doing, and they say you trying to be white, when really I'm just trying to explore life.
Right, because I'm like, what does it even mean to be like, oh, you talk white?
Speaking like a normal, articulate person.
Exactly.
I think it comes from the stereotype that black people
Normal
are
is crazy.
uneducated. So
Articulate
when you sound
should have been.
articulate, you sound educated. They're like, damn, because I get that all the time. I went to a white private school, half of middle school, high school, all of college. It sucked to be in predominantly white communities where even the black people were saying the same thing as the white.
That's
people.
crazy.
It takes a real toll on you
Yeah.
because when people were telling me that, like saying you talk white, I would try to change the way I talk and try to fit in. And I was speaking ghetto, that Memphis accent. You hear me? You're like I would talk like.
And that's not normally how you talk.
And luckily, I got rid of it and went back to speaking
To
the
who
way
you are.
I really was.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's like crabs in a barrel mentality. And it's kind of like, okay, what can we relate over? And that is the struggle within the Black community. There's certain like experiences in which we find commonality or common ground. And when we see someone with a more established upbringing, like you guys were mentioning, like if someone goes to private school, I went to private schools, you know, or you're whitewashed. Why do we associate success or being knowledgeable or speaking a certain way with being white?
To hold ourselves accountable within the Black
It's a
community,
very good
we need
question.
to stop judging each other on our level of quote unquote blackness, because that is where I do think the issue is stemming from. And I think
It's
within
keeping
our
people
community,
mentally
if we're saying,
stuck.
telling me, oh, you're an Oreo. Because, like, really? No, I'm educated. We need to stop talking down to each other because we have those qualities. It's not a bad thing to be articulate.
I think that's the majority, and we're the minority, sadly. It's like we gotta leave them on the plantation. honestly.
Yep.
All right. Can we have the disagree step forward?
It was a crazy statement, but I understand it.
I would say that is an issue within the Black community where they try to say you're not Black because you sound a certain way. I think that's ridiculous. Like, we're Black because we're Black, right? But yeah, like, I tune a lot of that stuff out. It's just if I can't use it to do something that will better my life, it does not matter to me. And I think because of that, I disconnect from a lot of Black
I feel like that's a very Western thing, though. Maybe not, but I also feel like, you know, if you go to like, I don't know, like I feel like other people just realize, I don't know.
some.
'Cause I'll be like, yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't like being a victim. I
Absolutely.
cannot
Facts.
be a victim.
I hate being
I'm
a
like, what
victim.
is the issue? Let's work on the issue. Yeah, it might be a little.
People love being victims. I know I hate people feeling bad for me. That shit makes no sense why people love that shit so much. I don't understand it.
But that's fine. You know, there's no growth without opposition. So it's like, let's just go.
Let me ask you all a question. Are people still telling you all, you talk white? Is that an experience that you're all
Yeah.
experiencing
That's
now,
interesting.
right now?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. I have the ability to code switch.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I can definitely.
That's an ability I feel like every race should have, to be honest. I feel like that shouldn't just be in the Black community. I feel like every race should have the ability to code switch in some type of way, to fit in with everything. Because I can do it too, you know what I'm saying? I believe I can fit in anywhere in the world, actually, with ease. I believe every race should be able to do that. Every human being should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just me.
You know, like it's a switch for me. So I haven't had anyone say, "Oh, you talking white." You know, it's more so like you going somewhere. I've heard that my whole life from our community. I hate to use the word code switching because I know slang, but that's our language within the community. But outside of that, I am a very intelligent individual, so I know that I need to speak and not use Ebonics so that you'll be able to understand me. And I think that in itself outlines the fact that I feel more judged by those outside of
Interesting.
my culture, outside of our race, than inside.
Walking around in society, I'm automatically judged by people who are not Black because I'm Black. And they have an expectation if I'm not dressed properly, if I don't carry myself a certain way. And I understand that. To your point, like, I refuse to be a victim. So I'm going to, like, okay, whatever it is, like, I'm going to present myself the best way possible so that I know I might be judged a little bit walking through the door, but at least I'm giving myself an opportunity. But yeah, I think Black people, we might give each other crap for, like, being different, but at least I feel like we always have each other. Always. Most of the time, we have each other's back, I think, as Black people.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
I've-
think so.
That's a
Especially not a
major-
Black man with a Black woman.
It's just a lot of jealousy.
No.
I agree. I agree there because I think that when Black people at school said that I talked white, and especially with a British accent, it's even more like white. It was always more like you say. It was kind of just like we're in the community together. I feel like when the white people would say stuff, it was like the true attack. The girl, to an oversharing in this modern world, the girl that I lost my virginity to, white girl, and a few weeks after, she was asking my friend about me, and she was like, does he consider himself white or black? And then my friend was like, he's black. And she's like, oh, that's a shame, because I'd only date a white guy, but at least I can tick a black guy off my list. And that's like my first ever like real sexual experience. When it was the black women in dating saying you talk white, you're too middle class, whatever it is, then that was just like, okay, yep, just we are different parts of the same community. When white women and other partners who would be like, you're not meeting my dad, because he would never let me date a black guy, that felt like way more cutting.
In a sense, it's a fetish. And we have to be careful about that because as a black woman, you're a black man, I'm around black men. You're not a fetish for me because you are a part of my community. And so I disagree with for myself, my experiences, the black community has fully supported me. But I think when you expand outside of your, right in your face community, you'll realize that there are a lot of black women that are just rooting for black women because they're black. I mean, we can think about the election in
I can definitely
itself.
say environment because when I lived in Atlanta, it was nothing but like black support, black love, everybody's helping each other. You don't see too many
I heard that about Atlanta too.
I carry my parents' relationship patterns.
So I just had a baby, he's 4 months. And I have a partner.
I do gotta go to work. I wanna finish the video, but this one actually doesn't resonate with me, to be honest. Like I don't have anything to say about this one, cause I just don't. But anyway, if y'all enjoyed this reaction, I gotta go. I gotta work, man. I gotta make some money real quick. I might go on a day later. I gotta make some money. You know what I'm saying? But if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, share this video for Uncle Cousin. Probably gonna do more of these videos. I used to love watching Jubilee and I had no what's it called? No platform to react to them, and now I do. So I'm probably gonna be coming with a lot of Jubilee reactions, more music video reactions coming too. Like I got a lot of stuff in my watch later, but. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. So live your life to the fullest, accomplish dreams, get money, stay happy. Yeah, it's been your boy, Clown Kofi. I'm out.